All right. All right, good evening and welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. My name is Tim Gallen. I'm a past president of PACAC, and on behalf of the Pennsylvania Association, I welcome you all. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent educational consultants, and other professionals who help guide students through the important transition from high school to college and other post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us tonight. And a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. Again, that's pacac.org. This presentation is also being recorded, and it will be available within about a week at that same website, pacac.org. And so without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to Jessie and DePaul University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this evening. My name is Jessie Heinrich. I am the admission counselor here at DePaul who works with prospective students from Pennsylvania. So I am happy to be your primary point of contact for all questions that you may have about DePaul, about Chicago in general, and about the application process. So happy to share a little bit more about the university with you all this evening, and I'll be sure to leave time for questions after as well. So I will start sharing my screen so that you all can see the slides I have prepared for you this evening. Hopefully you can all see that okay. As I said, thanks so much for taking time out of your evening to learn a little bit more about DePaul. I am actually from the East Coast, from the Mid-Atlantic myself, so I'm always happy to discuss the East Coast to Chicago life transition, and always happy to talk about DePaul. So we'll start with just a basic overview of the university, kind of a look at DePaul by the numbers. DePaul was founded over 100 years ago, back in 1898. We have just over 22,000 total students, about 15,000 undergraduates, which makes us the largest Catholic school in the country. It never really feels super large though, primarily because our class sizes are so small. 15:1 is that student to faculty ratio. So average class size is about 20 students, and gets progressively smaller as you progress into those upper level major specific courses. But even in your introductory 100 level courses, you'll never be in a 100, 200 person lecture hall. Those types of classroom spaces really don't exist here because that's not the model that we operate on. So small class sizes all throughout your undergraduate experience. Who are your peers in those classes? Of those 15,000 undergraduate students that I mentioned, about 60% of those students are from the state of Illinois. The other 40% of those students are from all over the country and all over the world. We have all 50 states represented on campus. We have over 100 different countries as well. So more and more students from the East Coast every year. Expect that number to grow in future years as well. So you'll be in good company with students, again, from all over the country and all over the world. In addition to being the largest Catholic university in the nation, we are also the nation's largest university with a primary mission of teaching and service. That teaching part of our mission comes back to those small classroom sizes. Our students are getting to know their professors and their peers really early on in that college experience. Professors are a great networking resource and, of course, a great source of knowledge for our students, but those professors and faculty members are not only devoted to being experts in their areas of academic expertise, but also are devoted to excellence in their teaching as well. So they want to be teaching every academic term. They like that interaction with students, and again, are devoted to being excellent teachers. The service piece of that mission all comes back to our namesake, the St. Vincent de Paul. The legacy of St. Vincent de Paul is one of a commitment to community service and social justice. That is where the university's Catholic tradition comes from, but a lot of pieces of that mission all members of our university community can embrace, whether they are Catholic or practice a different religion or don't practice any religion. That, again, commitment to community service and social justice is a really important part of the university's mission, the community that we have here at DePaul, and has a pretty big impact on our students' daily life. These 3 E's, as we like to call them, that you see on the screen now, education, environment, and ethos, are kind of the pillars of a DePaul education that all come together that provide our students with that really unique experience. So that first E, education, comes first because that is why US students are pursuing an undergraduate degree at DePaul. You are looking for an excellent bachelor's degree offering, and we offer over 300 academic programs in our 10 academic colleges. We'll talk about all of those offerings in just a few moments. That second E, environment, we really feel like we offer a really unique environment for our students. We're located in the heart of the city of Chicago, so students have all the resources of a large urban environment, but have the small community at the same time that DePaul offers, have a little bit more of a traditional college campus on our Lincoln Park campus, have more of an urban campus feel on our Loop campus. We'll talk about those 2 campuses, that dual campus model, a little bit more later, but it is a really unique environment where, again, you do get the best of both worlds. And then that third E, ethos, all comes back to that mission that I was talking about just a few moments ago, the values that the university was founded upon and the values that still inform the university's mission today. Once again, commitment to community service and social justice. As we start to talk about the academic offerings here at DePaul, it's really important to note our academic calendar. We operate on the quarter system, so this is fairly non-traditional compared to a semester system that many universities operate on. We have our fall, winter, and spring quarters that comprise our main academic year. Summer quarter is optional. Students are not expected to take courses over the summer quarter in order to graduate in 4 years. So 3 10-week terms rather than 2 15-week semesters. So instructional time stays the same, but you're operating on a little bit of a faster pace and allowing yourself some more time to take some additional classes in any given academic year. So that fall quarter starts up just after Labor Day in early September. Then you're done before the Thanksgiving holiday. Enjoy a very long 6-week winter break before returning to campus for the winter quarter, which begins in early January, finishes in mid-March, followed by a 1-week-long spring break, and then spring quarter mid-March, ends in early mid-June. So your academic year starts a little bit later, ends a little bit later, but again, you're getting that 3rd extra term in your academic year, which is really great, especially because here at DePaul, we value that exploratory period where you're deciding what you want your major here at DePaul to be, and are just exploring our liberal studies program requirements and getting acquainted with what your academic and professional interests really do look like. So for those of you who have an intended major in mind already, as I said a few slides ago, these 10 colleges and schools house the over 300 academic programs that DePaul offers. The first 3 colleges that you see on this list, the Driehaus College of Business, the College of Communication, and the College of Computing and Digital Media, are all located on our downtown Loop campus. The Driehaus College of Business is one of the 10 oldest business schools in the country, offers majors from marketing to management, one of the best entrepreneurship programs in the country, to finance to accountancy. Accountancy, one of our most popular majors for incoming freshmen. We have a specific honors program for our accounting students, the Strobel Accountancy Honors Program. Those students are usually more likely to have an internship with one of the Big 4 accounting firms and also have a higher passing rate on the CPA exam after graduation. College of Communication, everything from public relations and advertising to journalism. One of the newer additions to this college and rapidly growing, very popular option is sports communication. Chicago is home to 7 professional sports teams, so very popular place to study sports communication. Great place just to be a sports fan in general too. And then the third and final college located on the Loop campus, the College of Computing and Digital Media. As you can tell by the name of this college, we have those computing majors like computer science, cybersecurity, information technology, also digital media minded majors. So everything from graphic design to user experience design, really important careers in the 21st century job market, to animation, to film and television. Film and television is one of the most popular degree programs for incoming freshmen, partially because of our relationship with CineSpace, located on the west side of the city of Chicago, the largest film studio in the country outside of LA, gives us a lot of opportunities, gives our students a lot of opportunities to have that hands-on experiential learning in their degree progress. The following 5 colleges that you see on this list, the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, the College of Science and Health, the College of Education, and our theater and music conservatories are all located on the Lincoln Park campus. Don't worry if you're still getting the hang of what those 2 campuses are named, what those 2 campuses look like. We will definitely go into that in a bit more detail shortly. The College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences is home to our widest range of undergraduate majors here at DePaul. Every single student, regardless of major, will complete coursework within the College of Liberal Arts because every student is required to complete liberal studies program courses. We really believe in that liberal arts foundation to any education, regardless of major here. Also, several of the majors within the College of Liberal Arts are included in one of our specific honors programs, the BA JD 3+3 program. This is an invitation-only honors program students are automatically considered for when they apply to DePaul, as long as they list a major offered within the program as their intended major on their application. So as I mentioned, many of the majors included within the College of Liberal Arts, as well as all of the majors included in the College of Communication. Students who are invited to this program gain conditional admission to DePaul's College of Law at the point of admission as an incoming freshman student. So as you can tell by that honors program title, students complete their undergraduate degree in 3 years and continue on to law school in the following 3. We also have a similar specific honors program for our College of Science and Health students. We call that our Pathways Honors Program. This is a really great opportunity for students who are interested in pursuing a professional health program after they've received their bachelor's degree, whether that's medical school, a doctor's of physical therapy program, a pharmacy program, and a master's of nursing program here at DePaul. These are all great tracks that you can be on accelerated pathways for through the Pathways Honors Program and receive that pre-professional health advising all along the way as well. So College of Science and Health, home to all of those natural sciences, everything from biology, chemistry, physics, and then neuroscience. We offer amazing psychology degree programs offered as both Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees. And health sciences. Health sciences is a very popular track for those pre-professional health students. Health sciences offers both a bioscience and public health concentration. Public health, really popular for students who are interested in administrative health careers, global health trends, etc. The College of Education, home to majors from early childhood education through secondary education and really all of the grade levels in between. Those secondary education majors will specialize in a certain subject area. Also, we offer modern languages education, physical education, special education. Of course, when students successfully complete that student teaching experience, they will be licensed educators in the state of Illinois. And then once again, our theater and music schools are both conservatory style programs. The theater school and School of Music both offer both performance tracks, so acting majors, music performance students, in addition to non-performance track majors. All auditions for performance track students will be taking place virtually for students applying for the fall 2021 term. Students who are interested in theater or music also have some additional separate application requirements in addition to that application that may include a resume, a portfolio, specific letters of recommendation, etc. So I encourage students who are interested in those programs to ask any program-specific questions that they may be thinking of. And that does, of course, does not apply only to theater and music students. I encourage you all to ask questions about any intended major you may be thinking about pursuing, or anything about DePaul in general that we've covered so far. As I mentioned, those 10 academic colleges are home to our over 300 academic programs. And as I mentioned on one of those first slides in the presentation, the majority of those classes, regardless of the major that you select, will have less than 30 students. So that small classroom size really contributes to that enhanced learning environment, but also greater opportunities for you to have that hands-on experiential learning as well. Another really important component of your student experience here at DePaul is getting to know the city of Chicago a little bit better. It sounds cliche, but we really encourage all students to embrace the city as their campus. So one of the ways that we guide students in that process is we require all first-year students to enroll in either a Discover or Explore Chicago course. We call these our Chicago Quarter classes. You take this class your first fall quarter freshman year. You're in a small group of about 10 to 15 fellow first-year students. The class is led by a professor, a faculty member, a staff member such as myself, and then an upper class mentor, a junior or a senior here at DePaul. For part of that class, you are meeting inside of the classroom, you're discussing how you're acclimating to DePaul, you're discussing campus resources, campus traditions, tools for academic success, all of that good stuff. But then the other part of the class, you're going on excursions around the city. This is where that exploration piece comes in, that comfortability with navigating the city as well. Those excursions will be centered around a certain subject or topic area of your choosing, depending on the course section that you register for. You could take a theater in Chicago class, a jazz in Chicago course. One of the really popular options is the Chicago Cubs course. Join your fellow Blue Demons in your class and head up to Wrigleyville, a really quick train ride from the Lincoln Park campus, for several Cubs games for several nights in the month of September, possibly October, if they're lucky with the playoff streak, and really just feel more comfortable again navigating the city and have those bonding experiences with your fellow first-year students as well. Another thing that students become familiar with during that course is the public transportation system. This is crucial to that exploration piece here in Chicago. We have a very accessible public transit system that we really encourage students to use. One of the ways we do that is provide you with an unlimited train pass included in your cost of tuition. That's good for unlimited rides 24/7. So for our students who may be bouncing back and forth between the two campuses or just wanting to go anywhere else in the city, you have that train pass at your disposal. For the commute back and forth between the two campuses, for students who will be incorporating that into their regular student experience, the train ride from the Loop to Lincoln Park or vice versa is about 4 train stops, about 10 to 15 minutes. So it's a really easy train ride between the two, not an inconvenience. By my experience, I really think it's a very nice change of pace. And when we talk about the differences between the two campuses a little bit more, you'll kind of see that. The other thing that I will say for students is that if you're wondering right now, well, how do I know if I'm going to be taking classes or living on one campus or the other? You'll remember that I mentioned where each of those academic colleges was located. Depending on where your major is housed, which campus, that's where your major specific courses will take place. Since the College of Liberal Arts is located on the Lincoln Park campus, when you're completing those liberal studies program requirements, you're going to be taking many of those classes in Lincoln Park. If you're a business or communication or computing and digital media student, your major specific courses will take place on that Loop campus. So as you can tell from this photograph, the Loop campus is really that truly urban campus. All of our campus facilities are housed in about 5 skyrise buildings in that Loop neighborhood. And in some ways, those buildings are indistinguishable from the rest of the city. So you really feel like an integral part of that downtown environment. On the Lincoln Park campus, you are still in a young, fun neighborhood in the city, but you're also in a little bit of a more residential area. So you get that traditional campus feel a bit more. It's about 1 square mile only of DePaul only space. So everything from residence halls to our athletic centers, our student center, our dining halls, our libraries, a traditional green quad, all of those traditional campus spaces you can find here in Lincoln Park. Plenty of campus meeting spaces on the Loop campus as well. But I hope that that description kind of gives you a better idea of the differences between the two. And again, as I mentioned earlier, why it's kind of a nice change of pace to be able to go back and forth between the two campuses. If you're wondering where you'll live, there are residence halls on both campuses. The majority of the residence halls are located here in Lincoln Park. Again, just because it's a little bit of a more residential area, we have a bit more space for more residence halls, but you do have the option to list a preference of residence hall on either campus. You see this train stop at the bottom of the screen here. This is the Fullerton train stop, again, on the doorstep of the Lincoln Park campus. And then you have several train stop options in the Loop as well. As far as things just to do around the city, you have limitless options. Many of the opportunities that you see on the screen here are also offered to you at a discounted rate or for free, just by virtue of your student status, just by virtue of having that DePaul student ID. So as I mentioned, DePaul is home to 7 professional sports teams, amazing main theater stages in the Loop, many side stages, independent theater companies, comedy clubs all over the rest of the city. The famous Second City Theater is one of my personal favorites. That's located in the Old Town neighborhood just south of Lincoln Park. Amazing restaurants, some of the best food in the country in my opinion, and other amazing small businesses to support all across the city, of course, as well. One of my favorite things about Chicago, personally, one of the things that I think makes it really unique is that you have plenty of ways to escape the city and kind of reconnect with nature. You have an amazing lakefront available to you within walking distance. You're within walking distance to Lake Michigan on both the Lincoln Park and Loop campuses. 22 miles of lakefront trail. If you want to run or bike or just take a leisurely walk, those are all amazing options. I think it's a really awe-inspiring experience to look out on the wide expanse of lake and then see the entire city skyline in behind you. Tons of amazing museums, especially in the Loop neighborhood as well. Students gain free entry to the Art Institute of Chicago. Tons of amazing rotating exhibits available to students there. In addition to the lakefront that I was mentioning, we also have a wonderful park district. So tons of other ways, again, to have that open green space and have that escape even though you're in such a large urban environment. There are plenty of things to do and get involved with here on campus as well. There are over 350 student clubs and organizations. So that includes everything from student government to sororities and fraternities to community service-oriented organizations to student performing groups. We have these amazing theater and music conservatory style programs, but we also have several students who are interested in music and theater just kind of as an extracurricular interest. So we have a DePaul Theater Club, we have an improv group, we have an a cappella group, tons and tons of options there. An amazing campus recreation system. The Ray Meyer Fitness Center here on campus is a great way to stay healthy as a college student. I take advantage of the Ray Meyer Fitness Center too. Great resource right here on campus. Campus Rec also runs all of our club and intramural sports programs, so tons of options to stay active there as well. But DePaul is also home to 13 Division I sports teams housed in the Big East Conference. So you definitely have that healthy school spirit, conference rivalry, especially during basketball season. DePaul actually has a relatively new, just a couple of years old, basketball arena in the Loop called the Wintrust Arena, one of the best basketball college arenas I've ever been to. So that's a lot of fun for students as well. So tons of ways to build that sense of community here on campus and find ways to get involved and meet fellow Blue Demons. I want to make sure that we are leaving some time for questions, but I will start to wrap up by running through some of the next steps in the application process. DePaul does use the Common App application. We are Common App exclusive. There's no application fee associated with DePaul, so it doesn't cost you anything to apply here. In addition to the Common application, we ask that you send along your official high school transcripts and also that your counselor submits the Common App school report. So some additional information for us on your school profile. Your counselor can also feel free to attach a letter of recommendation to that school report. No additional letters of recommendation required, although I did mention that those theater and music programs do have some separate additional requirements, but for most general purposes, you don't have any additional letters of recommendation required, but you're welcome to have teachers submit those as supplemental application materials. The last thing that I will say as far as application requirements goes is that in the upper right-hand corner here, you see it says submit test scores. That is a little bit misleading because DePaul is a test optional university. I would also like to point out that this is not a COVID-19 specific change. DePaul has been test optional for almost 10 years now, so we have reviewed thousands of applications that students have submitted without a test score, and whether or not students submit a test score or do not submit a test score, they're receiving equal consideration for admission and for academic scholarships. Students are automatically considered for academic scholarships, so there are no additional application materials required or an additional application altogether. You're just automatically considered for those, and those scholarships range from $13,000 to $25,000 annually. And those scholarship awards will be renewed each year for up to 4 years, so long as you remain in good academic standing with the university. Students are also considered for need-based aid based on their FAFSA information. A friendly reminder that that FAFSA application did open on October 1st, so it is available now. Same goes for the Common App. The Common App opened on August 1st, so that is also available to you now for you high school seniors, tuning in. I also would like to point out that DePaul's early action deadline is November 15th, so we are exactly 1 month away. I highly encourage students to apply by that early action deadline simply because you're receiving priority consideration for those academic scholarship opportunities that I was mentioning. There are also some additional scholarship opportunities. We call those our service and leadership scholarships for our incoming freshmen that you're able to apply for only once you've been admitted to the university. So the earlier you apply and the earlier you receive that admission decision, the more time you're giving yourself to apply for those additional scholarship opportunities as well. So students this year who are applying for the fall 2021 term who meet that early action deadline of November 15th will receive an admission decision no later than December 15th. If students miss that early action deadline, no worries. Our regular notification deadline is February 1st, and those students will be notified of an admission decision no later than March 15th. For all students, our reply to offer of admission deadline date, that tuition deposit deadline date is May 1st, kind of that national decision day. But once you've been admitted, you can immediately start proceeding through those next steps. As I mentioned, whether that's applying for additional scholarship opportunities, you're also able to apply for housing after you've been admitted. So plenty of time to get those next steps done early, especially if you are an early action applicant. That is all the notes that I have for you all in regards to the application process. I welcome any questions that you have about your intended majors, about DePaul, about the city of Chicago, or the application process again. But for now, I will thank you all for tuning in and wanting to learn a little bit more about DePaul. As I said throughout the presentation, I think the thing that's really special here at DePaul is that you have this amazing city as your campus, but you also have a really close-knit community, a really strong sense of community here at DePaul that does give you the best of both worlds in your pursuit of all of your academic goals, but also as you're becoming your young adult self as a college student. So I will be sharing my contact info in the chat for anyone who would like to have that moving forward for any additional questions. As I mentioned, I am the assigned admission counselor for all prospective students from Pennsylvania. So I would be happy to talk to anyone at any time. And that is all I have for you all today. I've stopped sharing my screen here. Tim, any final words from you?
Actually, Jesse, I had a question, if I may.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since I have a student applying to DePaul this year for your theater program, I wonder if you could tell me a little bit more about the audition process and some of the strengths of that program.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So one of the only performance-based majors that is required to undergo an audition process are our acting students within the theater school. So those students do submit a pre-screen video as part of their application materials, and that pre-screen video includes kind of just an introductory message and then also 2 monologues that they have selected themselves. Then that pre-screen video is assessed and they proceed with the audition process. For students who are interested in majors like stage management, since it's not a performance-based option, they're not required to undergo that audition. However, they do interview with the head of the department. Oftentimes, stage management students also will be submitting a resume and 3 letters of recommendation, actually, and the goal there for those letters of rec. And that resume is for them to demonstrate some sort of stage management experience at the high school level or beyond, or whatever community engagement they have going on as well.
And for those non-performance majors, is there, do they look at a portfolio? Is that required? Is it recommended? Is it considered at all if they submit?
Yeah, so most of those non-performance track majors will be submitting a portfolio as well. For a lot of stage management students, I've seen them submit portfolios that contain things like stage design sketches that they've done for productions that they've been a part of previously. They've included those letters of rec in those portfolios. Again, that resume, or sometimes they just have photographs of their work as well, whether that's from productions or video clips. For our costume design students, those sketches and photographs are also really popular or common components of that portfolio. So yeah, the other thing that I will say about all of the production management side majors within the theater school is that both the theater school and School of Music are brand new facilities. So they were both finished in around the summer of 2018. So it's kind of all state-of-the-art industry standard spaces and equipment. So especially with the theater school, those production spaces are really remarkable. Again, whether that's for the lighting design students or the costume design, wig and makeup design, stage management, they have a lot of different, again, state-of-the-art industry standard spaces. And then for the performance students, tons of varying in size performance stages as well.
Great, thank you so much, Jesse. And could you put your contact information in the chat?
You know, I was going to, and then I can only pull up the Q&A, and it doesn't give me a text box to open.
Okay. All right. Well, I will find a way to be in touch with you because I'm sure I will have more questions for our applicants to DePaul.
Yes, absolutely. I would be happy to hear from you, and yeah, feel free to reach out. My contact information is easy to find on our website too. I'm also sure I can find a way to contact you. So thanks so much.
Great, thank you. And for the record, I'm going to share a short session at the end here. Okay. So I do want to thank you, Jesse, on behalf of the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling, and thank you to the students who are listening to this session. After you close this window, there'll be a very quick 4-question survey that will appear. And we would encourage you to sign up for more sessions at www.pacac.org. Again, that's pacac.org. And as I said at the beginning, this recording will be available about a week at that same website, www.pacac.org. Thank you so much, Jesse. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Tim. Take care. Bye-bye.